Hello everybody, AVT here, and I'm back with another video in my Star Wars Galaxies Legends Beginner's Guide. Today's a little bit of a special video. We're going to be going over the Bazaar, vendors, the bank, and we're going to be buying our first house. So, now that we've finished up Legacy on Tatooine, we have a decent amount of money. So I would like to do a couple of things. I'm going to go buy a speeder bike swoop. So I'm going to have to run over to the Bazaar. The Bazaar, if we follow our map, we come out of the starport, we go over here to the left, kind of like we were headed towards the cantina, except when we come to here, instead of turning right and going into the cantina, we go straight. We go between these two buildings, and it's this right here. So we're going to go ahead and walk inside. Now here, you've got several terminals. You've got Bazaar terminals, you've got banking terminals, and you've got a junk dealer. So we're going to ignore this junk dealer's existence. I don't need to talk to them, and we've already gone over junk dealers before. Banking terminals, we'll go over them really quickly, just because it's really easy. It just allows you to transfer money between your personal character and your bank. I like to keep a little bit on me. It doesn't really matter all that much, except for tipping locally. So if you go to tip an entertainer and you don't have any money on you locally, you will not be able to tip them. You'll have to tip them from your bank, and then there's a fee attached to that. Excuse me, so just keep that in mind. But we're going to go over here to the Bazaar. This is the main thing we need to cover today. So you click on the Bazaar terminal. It pulls up this window. There's several things to be aware of here. There's all auctions, which these are a bunch of items for sale, and they're all for sale by players. None of this is being sold by an NPC. So if you buy any of this, these credits are going to go directly to that player that you're buying it from. Oh, excuse me. So, all auctions are stuff that they're for sale within these Bazaar terminals. And what I mean by that is there's two places that players can sell things. They can sell them at a Bazaar terminal, or they can sell them at a vendor. So, since we need to buy a speeder bike swoop, usually there's one for sale in the Bazaar terminal. So I'm going to have this region selected, which means I'll only see items that are for sale here in the Mos Eisley Bazaar. I'm going to go down to Deed, Vehicle Deed, and we're going to go all the way to Swoop. And there we go, there's a bunch. So I'm going to organize them by price. I don't need an expensive one, as long as it's a speeder bike swoop. Should be them. I'm going to take a chance and hope this is one of them. Just go ahead and buy it. So I'm going to hit buy. It's going to cost us 6,500 credits. And since we're here in Mos Eisley, which is where we bought it, we should retrieve it immediately. Yes, we did. So we're going to go ahead and close this window real quick and generate our new vehicle. Perfect. There we go. And now we have a speeder bike swoop. Now the reason I like these, and I'm going to be using this from here on out, is because, one, you saw how cheap it is, 6,500 credits, and they're actually quite fast. It's considerably faster than the speeder bike we had previously. So, that was the first thing. Done and done. We're going to go back over here to the Bazaar terminal, because I want to show you something else. So, you can search by the entire galaxy, and if I go here to all, it's going to show me everything for sale in Bazaar terminals across the galaxy. But Bazaar terminals do not get used for typically high-ticket items. Usually, what you're going to have to do if you want to buy something is go over to the vendor location tab, because these are player-placed vendors that are inside of their homes, and this is where they can sell the higher-ticket items. They can set up their own shop. This is the most common method of selling specific items. So if we go to entire galaxy, it's going to populate this list with all kinds of things. Apparently, enzymes is what it's going to populate the list with. So if we were to say, let's say I go back to Deed, like I wanted to buy a speeder bike swoop again. So swoop. And this guy's selling one, and he is there one here on Tatooine? There is one here on Tatooine. Perfect. So we can't just buy this from this Bazaar terminal. We have to go to this vendor. So if we hit create waypoint, and then close out this window. Now if we hit V, because it was on Tatooine, there it is. This is our vendor item that we just created a waypoint for. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that waypoint, and I'm going to have to physically drive to his shop. So we're going to go ahead and physically drive out there. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I already bought one of these. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that with the house. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy this waypoint. I don't need another one. What I actually do need, though, is a house. And I'm just going to put it here on Tatooine for now. So what I'm going to do, vendor location, entire galaxy, deed, building deed, and I'm going to want a small generic planet house. Now, the reason I want a generic planet house is because the other houses are restricted to planets. Like these Corellian houses, they're restricted to, I believe, Corellia and Talos, if I remember right. And the Naboo houses have similar restrictions. The Tatooine houses have similar restrictions. This way, I can buy this house, and you can actually pack it up later and move it, and it won't be a problem. So what I'm going to do, it says it's on lock, so I'm going to go ahead, hit create waypoint, and then we're actually going to have to fly over to lock. So we're going to pull out our new speeder bike swoop, drive it on over to the starport, and fly to lock. Lock. The only starport on lock is Nim's Stronghold. And let's see where this waypoint is. It is here at Defiant. Does Defiant have a shuttle port? It does. Perfect. So we're going to go on in here, buy a ticket to Defiant. Purchase ticket. Get stuck on the door. Talk to the ticket collector. Fantastic. It is right here, right next to the shuttle port. So we're going to go ahead and go on inside this guy's shop. And it looks like the vendor's going to be right here. You got to give it a second to load everything inside of these shops. And there you go. This is what I was talking about. This is player housing. So not only was this building in the city placed out here, but every item in here was placed by this player. I'm actually going to turn show all object names off really quickly so you can get a better look at it without it being cluttered with names. And this guy has put a lot of work into decorating this home. He's got miniatures all over the place. These characters in carbonite, which is pretty cool. Is he decorated back here? Oh, wow. Not really. This must just be his personal workshop and stuff back here. Oh, that's really cool. This guy does a Beastmaster. So anyways, so here's what we're going to do. It looks like it's going to be at this vendor here, Deeds. So we're going to go ahead and talk to him. And then we're going to go back down to where we were, Building Deed. And then Small Generic Planet House. And there it is. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. And then it is retrieved and put into our inventory. Now really quickly, if our inventory was too full and we couldn't accept this deed, when we buy it, it's going to get placed here in the Available Items tab of the vendor. So all you need to do at that point is free up a slot, and then come here, and then you would click the item and say Retrieve Item. But now that we have our house, we have everything we need, so we're going to go ahead and delete this waypoint. Wow, I have never seen somebody do that before. That's actually kind of cool. Huh. Okay. So we're going to head on out of here. And here's what we're going to do. So I'm not in a guild or anything yet. I'm actually going to drive just outside of the city limits here because you need permission to place your house within a city. Since I'm already here, and I really have no personal preference as to where this house goes at the moment, I'm just going to drive out of the city and place my house. Perfect, we are now out of the city. That way I can still use their shuttle port to get to my home. So we're going to double click the deed. Get interrupted by my incredibly loud phone yet again. And here we go. Now, we click to place it. And there we go. This is our house. You can rotate it within the placement menu. I honestly can't remember the key. That might be right click. Let me see. Let me see if I can pack this back up and at least demonstrate that. There should be a terminal for it. Here it is. So you hit the tilde key on the terminal. You get structure management. I want to pack up this building. Yes, I want to pack up this building. Sometimes, yeah, you'll get stuck floating in the air when you pack up a house for a minute. You can either wait, eventually you will probably hit the ground, or hit slash on stick, and then we will be patient, I guess, because I can't move at the moment. Yeah, it's not going to let me unstick. Oh, I'm free. Okay. So, since I packed it back up, I guess we'll go over that really quickly. It's in my data pad now. So I hit K, there's my house. So I'm going to unpack it. Let's see. Yeah, right-click to rotate. There we go. I'm just going to put it up next to this guy's house. Hope he doesn't mind. But this is what it's going to look like. You have, within this certain radius around yourself, to place your house. And there we go. Our house is back down. So, at the structure management terminal, there's a couple of things to talk about. You can search for items within your home, which is kind of cool. If you have a lot of things stored in here, it can be kind of hard to figure out where they've gone. So, being able to do that is an incredibly handy function. You can also purge the interior of your house. I've never actually done that. I've never needed to. You can rename your home, so we're just going to rename it Storage House, because that's what this is going to be for now. You can declare your residency. So right now, if you go onto your personal tab, I am a wanderer. I have no permanent residency. If I was in a city, which that's typically when this is important, because cities actually have levels that they gain depending on how many players live there. So you would declare your residency. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And it granted me new abilities, which are not relevant to me, so I'm just going to remove those. We'll talk about those when we talk about city management. But now, this is my residency out here, randomly in the desert, on lock. I can also, this is going to be very important, so when you have a structure down, you have to pay maintenance to it. You can either have no maintenance in it, and it will take directly from your bank account, or you can take funds directly and put them into your maintenance pool. I'm going to go ahead and put 50,000 credits into my maintenance. That should last a pretty decent amount of time, because I don't want it to run out. And here is the main reason that I wanted this house. So, I'll go over why it's important later. Oh, this is a collection item. I'm going to go ahead and just add that to the collection. I'll go over why it's important later, but junk loot is actually very important. I don't like just selling it to junk dealers. It's going to be very, very important in the end game when we're gearing up our character. So I wanted to get this stuff out of my inventory, but I didn't want to sell it. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is get this little reassembled R2 unit out, which is pretty cool. So I've got this R2 unit drop down. And say, I don't like where it's at, right? You can hit the tilde key. You've got some basic move commands. I can move him right. I can move him left. I can rotate him plus minus 90. Very basic, right? There's actually a collection that we're going to go over at some point that increases your rotation and moving abilities. We'll probably do that in a video coming up here soon. The more accurate way to move something around is actually using text commands. So I could move him forward 100 units and see how far that moves him. And then I could move him left, let's say about 50 units. That was too far. So I'll move him right 20 units. It's just an easier way to more precisely move around something in your house. So there we go. And I want to rotate him 45 degrees. Oof. Is that the full command? Yikes, that is the full command. Alright, it's been a while. So rotate, furniture, yeah. I'm going to tell them -90 at this point because I wanted him in the corner. There we go. That's not bad. I'll move him back 5. Maybe 10. I don't want him clipped into the wall. Perfect. And now we have our R2 unit in the corner. So that's how you position things. You can use your tilde key for these interaction menus, or you can use text commands. It's just move forward, back, left, right, and then the units or the amount that you want to move them. And then when it's rotation, that's the command that's down here in my text right now. Rotate, furniture, yaw, and then you have -180 to 180. So in a 360-degree radius. So there we go. Now we've got him down. I don't like to delete the reassembled R2 unit. You can't sell him, and it's the only time you can get this unique item in the game. So I like to hold on to him. It's just kind of a trophy to my accomplishments, if you will. So now, what I need to do is get rid of this junk loot. I want to store it. But I have nothing to put it in. I could put it in my house directly, but it's going to lay all over the ground and drive me absolutely insane. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go purchase a storage container. It appears as though we're going to have to go back to NIMS. Not a big deal. We'll call our instant travel vehicle. Go up here to NIMS. There's a Bazaar terminal right here. So we're going to go ahead. If it'll open. Check the Bazaar. I'll just search for chest. Maybe chest will give me something. Oh, this is a factory crate of 10 chests. So we're going to go pick that up real quick. It's on Dantooine. So same thing. I'm going to create the waypoint. And a factory crate means that this item was mass built in somebody's factory. And it looks like it contains 10 chests for 5,000 credits. So I would like to go buy those. So we're going to head on over to Dantooine, even though there's a sand skiff clipped inside of this. Whew. My phone needs to calm down. Okay. And it's there at Draco Corvo. Oops. Which does have a shuttle port. Perfect. So we're going to buy a ticket really quickly. Dantooine. Draco Corvo. Perfect. Just another quick note. Oh, this is what I was talking about in one of my older videos. The next shuttle will be ready to board in 20 seconds. The shuttles actually depart and arrive. So I have to wait 20 seconds until the shuttle shows up. There's nothing I can do about that. It's kind of cool because it's a little bit of RP. It's kind of immersive. At the same time, it's also kind of irritating because the longest timer is a minute long. So if you walk up right when the shuttle's taking off, you're probably going to have to wait like a minute and a half before you can board the shuttle. So you just kind of stand here and chill. But the next shuttle's about to start boarding, so we'll board that here in just a second. Go pick up these storage containers, which will actually be quite perfect because I like to organize junk loot by name, just because there are so many variants of it. Let everything load in. Awesome. We will head over to this guy's store. This is a large Naboo house. I've always loved the way these things look. I don't like using them for stores personally because I believe it could be a little confusing. Like now. There's my waypoint, but there's definitely not a vendor here. So obviously I went the wrong way, so we're going to try that again. We're going to go this way into the main room.
If you dare.
And there we go. This guy has all kinds of vendors as well. A little bit of decoration. Very nice. Mr. Fine Furniture Vendor. chest. Was here for the factory crate, though. Next. This guy sells a lot of chests. Oh, they're there. There they are. Perfect. We'll buy that. It's only 5,000 credits. That's very reasonable. Perfect. Now we should have a factory crate of chests in our inventory, which we do. So we're going to go ahead and delete this waypoint. I don't need it anymore. And run on out of this house. Then we're going to ITV back to a starport. Imperial outpost. And then we'll star travel back over to Luck. I don't know why I called it that. And this is why I wanted to put my house right next to a city, because this makes this really easy. Buy a ticket back over to Defiant. Perfect. Talk to Mr. Ticket Collector. And away we go. I'm going to drive back over to our house. Won't take very long because we're just on the outskirts of the city. And then we will plop down one of these chests. I'm not sure what this guy's doing. Trying not to get near anything red on this planet. Everything around here is probably about level 60, and I don't feel like getting killed. Not today, anyways. I'll run on inside here. I'll put the storage in the back. Double-click the factory crate. Gives us a chest. Each one can hold 50 items. I'm going to drop it on down. Just going to go ahead and rotate it. And then I'm going to set its name. I'm just going to call this Junk Loot. For now, we don't have that many variants of it, so I'm just going to store everything in here and sort it out at another time. So anything that says it can be sold to a junk dealer is junk loot. So we're going to look through our inventory, find everything that says that, and store it in here. Let's see. There's another one. Another one. Oh, that's a collection item. Junk loot, collection item, junk loot, junk loot. That's another collection item. Alright. That is all of the junk loot that we had on us. So, what I'm going to do, I don't really feel like placing the rest of these chests right now. I'm just going to put the whole crate on the ground so I can come pick those up later. But now our junk loot is stored, which is really nice. I'm actually going to drop this sword as well, just because of the unique name. Maybe I'll use this deco later or something, I don't know. But this is going to allow me to go through my inventory. Everything that's a collection, I'm just going to go ahead and add. Never hurts. Let's see, I know there were a couple more. There's one. I think there was one more. Yes. And this is just going to allow me to clear out my inventory. We've also got some paintings here. I'm going to drop those down as well. I'll sort them out later. They're not super hard to get. They're pretty affordable. But there we go. So this is going to allow me to go to a junk dealer now. And everything else in here that I can sell, I'm going to sell. These are also a unique item I'm going to save for the nostalgia. But everything else that I can sell, I'm going to sell. It's really not going to result in any problems because I've saved everything that's important. There's one final note I wanted to go over about your house really quickly before we conclude this video. And it's here. Privacy. So If it's set to private, only you can enter your home. If you click it, you're going to set it to public. Anybody can come into your home. When we go to place vendors, your house is going to have to be public so people can enter it. Just something to keep in mind. I'm going to go ahead and set it to private, just because I don't really care if anybody else comes in here. And then you've got this structure permissions. So if you set your structure to public, you can actually set a ban list. So if there's certain people you don't want in your house for whatever reason, they've upset you, they kicked your dog, who knows, you can ban them. So you would open up this list and you would add, and then you type in that person's character name, and it will ban them from entering your house. Same thing goes for the entry and administrator list. So the entry list, if your structure's private, is going to allow, say, just your friends into your house. The administrator list basically adds another super user, if you will, to your house. They can do basically everything with your house that you can. They can take items, they can interact with things. So if you have somebody come in who's helping you decorate, say, you can add them as an administrator and they can help you with that. And there we go. That'll do it for your first house. As you can see, it wasn't very expensive. We have a place to store things now. And you can go ahead and decorate it. I had tons of fun with that when I decorated my first couple of houses. I'll definitely be decorating one again soon when I create our shop. But for now, it's just going to be a storage house. So that's going to go ahead and conclude this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will help wherever I can, and may the Force be with you.